1. The Lost Boys of Bird Island. A true story of murder, mystery, and a scandal that shook South Africa by Mark Minnie and Chris Steyn. This book is a gripping true crime story that follows a scandal from the 1980s in South Africa. It reveals the tragic story of a group of men who abused and killed boys, and the subsequent investigation that uncovered the truth. 2. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This is a thrilling suspense novel that follows a woman who is trying to solve the mystery of her husband's disappearance. She discovers a shocking secret that will change her life forever. 3. The Man from the Train. The solving of a century-old serial killer mystery by Bill James and Rachel McCarthy James. This book tells the true story of the man behind a series of grisly murders that occurred across the United States in the early 1900s. It follows the investigation and eventual capture of the killer, who was only identified in 2012. 4. I'll Be Gone in the Dark. One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. This book tells the true story of the search for the Golden State Killer. It follows the investigation of this serial killer, who was eventually identified in 2018. 5. The Spider and the Fly. A true story of the serial killer who lured his victims through the internet by Clifford L. Linedicker. This book tells the true story of a serial killer who used the internet to lure his victims. It follows the investigation that led to the killer's arrest, and reveals a shocking story of manipulation and terror. 6. The Killer Across the Table. Unlocking the Secrets of Serial Killers and Predators with the FBI's Original Mindhunter by John E. Douglas and Mark Olshaker. This book tells the story of the FBI's Mindhunter program, which was set up to study and understand serial killers. It follows the work of John Douglas, one of the program's founders, as he attempts to crack some of the most notorious cases of the 20th century. 7. The Wicked Boy. The Mystery of a Victorian Child Murderer by Kate Summerscale. This is a true crime story about the mysterious murder of 2 young boys in Victorian England. It follows the investigation of the case and reveals a shocking story of a family's secrets. 8. The Suspect. An Olympic Bombing, the FBI, the Media, and Richard Jewell. The Man Caught in the Middle by Kent Alexander and Kevin Salwin. This book tells the true story of Richard Jewell, who was falsely accused of being involved in the 1996 Olympic bombing in Atlanta. It follows the investigation and reveals the truth behind this shocking case. 9. The Crime Book. Big Ideas Simply Explained by Kathy Scott. This book is an exploration of the history of crime, from its earliest forms to the modern era. It explores the history of crime solving, the evolution of criminal justice, and the latest developments in criminal law. 10. Trace Evidence. The Hunt for the I-5 Serial Killer by Bruce Henderson. This book tells the true story of the hunt for the I-5 serial killer, who murdered at least 7 people in the 1980s. It follows the investigation and eventual capture of the killer, and reveals a shocking story of justice and revenge. Thanks for watching. Check the description for links to purchase any of these products.